Yeah, it's usually pretty noisy here, and tonight's no exception. Back to you, JB, and hello, everybody.
So they moved it to 6:30 from 6:35?
Right, yes, they did.
Alrighty, I'll have to give it a try one of these nights. Okay, Michael, W06Y.
Evening, gentlemen. Not much going on here, just packing up a radio and doing a little power pull job, but other than that, not much happening. I wound up fending for myself for dinner tonight, which is totally fine, and staying warm and dry. W06Y.
Oh, you're just trying to make John and I feel bad. It ain't going to work. Bob, W6RBM.
Good evening. I'm hearing everybody pretty well. Right now I'm putting out only 15 watts, and at least around here the signal seems to be propagating good. And sound quality is good, so I don't have a whole lot of experience on this band, so it's interesting to hear how it sounds. That's it, W6RBF. Over.
I don't know what that was on the end. We'll come back and give it a try. So it sounds good. Yeah, if you got a good-sized antenna, you don't need a lot of power because you got NDIS, it'll work well. Plus the ground's wet, so you got real good ground reflectivity. If you're running a compromised antenna like Paul is, KA6GEM, it gets a little bit more difficult. You got to run a little more power. So as you go through, give Paul a signal strength reading because he is running a ham stick from a condo. And Steve, you're at 10 watts because of SWR. How come? K3SCH at our 5NS.
Mainly because the NSED wire I use is only 66 feet long, 40 through 10, and so I try to keep the wattage down. So when I'm not matching up that well, it actually went into the bypass when I tried to tune it, but that's okay. I'm hearing everybody. Everybody's from EKS is 9 over, and everybody else so far has been 20 or 30 over. Back to you, JB.
All right. Did you hear Paul all the way, by the way?
Paul was very garbled and maybe Q1 at the best.
Okay, so he's writing an OSU. Okay, let's go with ladies first. N6LGE.
Good evening. This is N6LGE, and hello to all the net, and I am going to be the woman with keywords after the word again. This is N6BHX. Over here, we've got noise bottle, and either it's broadcast signals or light up the noise. EKS and GM but yours and everybody else has been down in the noise. Turning off at the one right. 99 watts.
Okay, well you guys, Jean was peaking at S6, and as usual, you're only peaking at S5, so she's got you beat there. But that's all right. We'll take it. Yeah, some of these guys running lower power is going to be a little bit difficult to make it across the creek. Okay, Paul, KA6GEM, NR5NN.
Paul, did you say you had it attached to the chimney?
Okay, is it horizontal or vertical? Well, I use ham sticks horizontal all the time.
Yeah, no,
Okay, pretty cool. There's no way you can get a picture of it for us, is there? Okay, well, send me a picture tomorrow, and I'll wait until tomorrow to send a recap and include a picture of it. We're always looking for interesting antenna setups, especially somebody using an 8-foot antenna on 80 meters, where most antennas are 135 feet. Okay, NR5NN and the 80-meter quarterly go-to-net on 80 meters. Anyone else like to check in?
Okay, 6XSS.
Comment.
CBR's parables. I'm keeping it short.
Uh-oh. K6XSS has a difficult SWR situation also. You want to keep it really short?
Sure. Yeah, I'm hitting like 5. So, K6XSS, have a good night.
Well, you got a nice strong signal, so don't, sorry your SWR is 5 to 1 or better. Okay, there was a comment?
Yeah, on WA6EKS, when Paul said he was vertical with the ham stick, I'm getting him an S8 on my dipole and S9 on my vertical, but I can't transmit with my amp on the vertical because the SWR is not as good on it and on this part of the band. Anyway, just thought I'd mention that he's got a better signal on my vertical, and the amp stick sounds good. Of course, we're not that far apart. WA6EKS.
All righty, agreed.
6 MRU.
Go ahead.
Well, I just kind of wanted to check in there, JB. I know you recognized me, but I didn't go through the order. Anyway, wanted to give my 3 cents here. Yeah, Jim and Jean, I can hear them pretty darn good, although very low copy. Paul is an S8. I hear him pretty good, but this is, keep in mind, I'm having some noise spikes that are actually, above S9. So sometimes Paul's in the noise, but otherwise, hearing everybody here in Benicia great, using 35 watts. Thanks, JB. KM6 MRU.
Oh, Chris, I apologize for one of the very, very few times I didn't put check marks by the call signs as I went down the list, so I missed you. I apologize for that.
Oh, no worries. I knew it was, and I figured I better put my call in there and let everybody know I'm here. Otherwise, it is an interesting band. Very noisy, but signals are good, and most of the time the signal to noise is not too bad, other than those stations in Martinez. Anyway, thanks, JB.
All right, I'd have to say that probably the 80-meter op that I know of more than anyone else is probably John, AA6ZT, because he checks into nets from his mobile. So, John, how does this sound or compare to what you normally experience?
Well, this is AA6ZT, and actually the experience is pretty much like what I get on the long coast, up and down the coast. I'm listening to them in my other ear because we have a check network at 7 o'clock, and I'm on the central time, or the central cluster, and I'm at the very end of the central cluster, so I'll pop off and pop away. I have the B side of my radio set up to that frequency, and hopefully the tuner will work. But I'm receiving just about everybody close by with 5.9 plus, but the folks over in Martinez are typically somewhere around 4.7. Paul at GM, he was readable, but I would have to give him a 3. And the quality was the actual transmitter, what the second digit is about a 5 or so. But I haven't heard Art. Is he with us today? A6 a.m. is late. Oh, that's okay. Never late, too late. There you go. You sound good.
Howdy, Art. You hearing most everybody?
Well, I turned the radio on and John was talking, and he's 20 over 9. You're 50 over 9. What amazing signals on 80 meters. I haven't heard anybody else, but I'll stand aside if you're going through the roll call. 6 a.m.
Nope, you're tailing Charlie. So, hey, Paul, KA6GEM, do you hear Art pretty good? Give him a transmission. Art, I'm guessing you didn't have a copy?
I hear him in there. He's right at S9, along with the Donald Duck I'm getting from a Jason channel, and I really would not even be able to give him a Q anything reading, A6AM.
Yeah, he's using an 80-meter hamstick mag mounted to a gutter spout, so not a very good situation. I don't know. Hey, Paul, what kind of SWR did you get out of that mess? Wow, that's pretty impressive. You were able to tune a ham stick on a mag mount to 1.1. That's remarkable. Okay, NR5 in. Open session. Anybody got comments or a topic you want to talk about?
I don't hear Art here at all, JB. Is he on there? WA6EKS. Normally I hear Art great.
Yeah, Jim's in the mud for me, but Q5.
Jim, Art said you're in the mud to him.
I don't hear him at all.
10 over here, Jim.
So you don't have a good copy on Art either, Jim? N6BHX? Good Lord, he's like 20 over here.
Maybe it's the orientation of the dipole. I don't know.
Well, normally I would say that that's just you and Art not talking to each other, but that doesn't seem to be the case because others aren't hearing him either. So, NR for a minute, the only thing I've got is for those of you that we were talking about going to Mount Vaca for the VHF contest coming up in a couple of weekends. Dick sure threw a wet blanket on that on the UHF net when he said the roads were down to less than one lane when it gets wet.
Yeah, I think that you got to believe that.
Well, it's been a while since Dick's been up there. Derek, Chris, you need to talk to Derek and ask him what he thinks about the road situation.
Yeah, copy that. Well, I went there once last year, and of course it was not raining, and it was after we had some rain, but quite a bit after. It was in January. Anyway, I took my truck, of course, four-wheel drive, and I had no issues, but yeah, it's a little dicey, you know, and you definitely don't want to be up there if the creek is going over, and, you know, you just don't want to get caught in it. There's some low points there, but it sure is beautiful up there. KM6MRU.
Yeah, okay, we're going to have to play this one by ear as the time approaches and make a decision. And, gosh, I was looking, we've got 8 days that I can see of rain anywhere between a few tenths to a half inch over the next 8 days. So that doesn't look really good.
Yep, you got to pay attention to that weather up there on the hills.
Hey, Steve, you still with us?
K3STH.
What time did you say that hole developed in the roadway that swallowed the car's wheels?
That was, we were going that way at about 11 o'clock. We left here at about 10:35, 10:40, stopped for gas, and so we were, you know, it was between 11 and 11:15 a.m. this morning.
Was that before or after the bridge?
After the bridge, after the Arthur Road on-ramp there, just as you're going up the hill, and that electrical supply place is on the right, right on the other side of the fence, and it was in the right lane, maybe out 18 inches to 2 feet from the right side margin of it. So I had to move over to the left, and I was riding on the edge of the other lane to get away from it, but it was 4 or 5 feet long, foot wide, and at least 8 or 10 inches deep.
Yeah, my daughter said she saw that when she went to school, went to work this morning, and it was nowhere near that big when she went by.
The funny thing is, the officer was there, pulled over to the side of the road, just sitting in his car, and about 50 yards up was where it was, but he couldn't put a cone out, didn't do anything. I assume he called Caltrans and told them, but other than that, he was just sitting there.
You guys remember when Marina Vista on 680 used to flood, and they had to shut the freeway down?
I do, and you remember why and how that got fixed?
Well, the road kept getting sunk, and I remember them adding about 3 or 4 feet to the roadway.
So the reason that got fixed was somebody on the governor's staff from the state of California went through there in one of their state limousine cars, and it flooded out and died, and he had to get out and get wet. And I guess he put political pressure on somebody at the federal level, because that's a federal highway, to actually fix that hole.
Where was that?
Right there in your backyard.
What Highway 4?
Interstate 680 across from the refinery.
Oh, Roger.
Well, I hear you now, Jim. You copy me? I guess not. By the way, JB, I had to put my AGC on a fast because it was so desensing from the 80-meter static crashes that it was killing signals. But it improved when I put the AGC to fast.
Oh, well, I've done the same thing. I've got my I've got my RF gain turned down to the point of where the noise is at F0.
Yeah, I'm not that far down, but it definitely is down towards about 9 o'clock.
Yep, same here, 9 o'clock. And I crank my power down to 25 watts, so it won't blow you out quite as bad.
I got something you might be interested in.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I often listen to this other network, the Golden Bear, on the Half Moon Bay SCR. They are not reachable tonight. They must be washed out.
Well, only NCS, right?
Say again?
Well, everybody didn't get washed out.
Oh, but they're right up on the coast. They probably have got communications problems in the area.
Where's the Gold
connected
Coast?
to the internet somehow.
Where is the Gold Coast?
Well, Half Moon Bay. It's down south of San Francisco.
Oh, sorry. We're talking across purposes. The net that I was listening to is on 6 o'clock. Somebody had friends out from Reading at some place called the Gold Coast, and they had lost 300 feet. They had a beachfront property, and over the last year or so, they've lost 300 feet of their property. It's in the ocean now.
Yeah, there was a pretty big slide on Route 17 today, too.
5 minutes, an open net. Anyone's welcome to join.
AM 60 WV.
There he is. See, Art, you weren't the latest guy here. Go ahead, Bruce.
Well, I was kind of late to the party, but I have heard most. Art was 20 over S9. Jim and Gene were S6 Q4. EKS was S9. Chris was 40 over. You're 30 over, JB. Bob was 30 over. Steve was 30 over. Michael was 30 over, Greg was 20 over, John was 10 over, and Paul was S4Q3. And that's all based on a 7300 running 25 watts, and the RF gain set down so the noise is 0. With RF gain all the way up, noise is S9. KM6, CWV, back to you, JB.
You running the DX Commander?
No, I pulled the radials up for lawn maintenance, and I'm on the dipole.
That's kind of funny. I guess that does happen if you have a lawn. Okay, we've got about 7 more minutes. Anybody else have any comments?
Anybody notice the noise level picking up, like especially static?
Yes. I had it turned down so it was at 0, but I see it kicking up now to S2, 3.
Yeah, it seems to be getting worse. Like lightning, but doesn't sound real close.
It's just as bad on 40 meters, too.
Well, we're all making it into the Utah SDR, by the way.
Including me? Am I making it into Utah?
Not so much, Art.
All right. Hey, 6 a.m.
How much power are you running?
1/10 of a kilowatt.
Oh boy. Well, actually, I did hear you. It's kind of noisy out there.
Yeah, I'm seeing the constant crashes coming up to as high as about an S7 to S9. It's pretty noisy out there. I haven't heard like this in a while.
Yeah, there's a bit of crosstalk and adjacent channels on the SDR, but I can certainly hear you.
Thank you, John.
Well, I took a quick trip off band. I launched SL rig so I could get an S meter up, and boy, it did a lot of strange things.
Oh, and by the way, Jim, WH6EKS, he came through very clear on the SDR.
Somebody saying something about me, I can't really tell what they're saying.
Yeah, John said you got a pretty strong signal into the half-moon bang SDR.
Oh, wow. Okay, I've still got to try and get to where I can hear them on my computer. WH6EKS. Thanks, John.
And I said that wrong. John says it's a Utah SDR.
Oh, okay, roger that.